Converting metric units of capacity, liters, it's the same. It's the same as mass and distance. It's the same. Force to fly, use your thing. So what I'm going to do today in this video is a little bit different. Your assignment, I'm going to go over one of the questions in the assignment that has usually, historically in the past, given fifth graders some trouble. So I'm going to go over it with you and explain what we're doing. So your assignment will be in your fifth grade volume 2 MyMath book on page 879 and 880. Now page 879 is your same old questions, direct conversion, then a few examples of comparison, and then on page 880 is your word problems. So I'm going to look at number 19 on the top of the page because this has given students some trouble in the past. So let's talk about it. The question is, the nail shop purchases nail polish in 13 milliliter bottles. Find the total capacity in liters of 1,000 bottles. So they're asking us about nail polish, and if you know nail polish, it's in these little bottles, 13 milliliters. That's an appropriate unit of measure for a little bottle. They want to know the capacity of 1,000 bottles, but they want to know in liters. So the question is given in milliliters. They want you to compare it to liters. So the first step in this problem, before you can answer the question, is to do a conversion. And that's where conversion is in many of our problems. You have to recognize that, wait a minute, this problem isn't in the same units. So initially, at first, it is a conversion problem. Then, once you have the numbers converted into the same units, then you can go ahead and look at whatever else the problem is. That's a typical fifth grade problem. There's more than one thing going on. That's life, guys. More than one thing going on. Don't we know it? So the first thing to do is understand that we have 13 milliliter bottles, and we want 1,000 bottles. So the first thing I would do was take my 13 milliliters and figure out how many liters that's going to be. 13 milliliters. You know what? No, I don't want to do that because that's a decimal. So I've decided that I want to know if I have 1,000 bottles, because that's what it says, 1,000 bottles times 1,000 bottles. You can do it the other way too. And I'm going to know in milliliters how much is 1,000 bottles. Well, that's easy. That's a tens trick, right? So 13 times 1,000 is 13,000. 13,000 what? Milliliters. It's really important that you keep track of your units until you do your conversion. 13,000 milliliters. But that doesn't answer the question, because the question is find the total capacity in liters. Oh. So I'm going to write my sentence, which I probably, if I'd have done my sentence first, it might have made a little more sense. The total capacity of 1,000 bottles is some number, I don't know, liters. Okay, now I just have to do a conversion so that I can fill in this blank. So now I'm going to take my milliliters and I'm going to convert them to liters. So I got a label. Which one's the fly? Which one's the horse? Well, there's the fly. This one's the horse. So fly to horse, divide, of course. Okay. So my decimal is here. Milliliters to liters. I'll look on my note. Milliliters, way down at the bottom, to liters, which is my basic unit. So that's 10 to the power of 3, which means I'm moving my decimal point 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 13 liters. Now I fill in my sentence, don't forget that. So, the total capacity of 1,000 bottles is 13 liters. Now another way to do it, which I started to convert this one little bottle, this little bottle here, to liters, which I could, and then multiply it by 1,000, I'll get the same answer. So there are many ways in capacity problems, conversion problems. There's usually more than one way to do it, but you'll find that no matter which way you do it, you'll end up with the same answer. You'll get there. And that is the case in many math problems. There's more than one way to do it, and they're right. It just depends on how you think and what avenue you want to go down first, but you all get to the same place at the end. If you have any other questions on any of the other questions, word problems, please feel free to email me or bring them to school and we will tackle them there. Okay, I will see you next time. Bye now.